everybody. Julio Valladares holds his master in teaching English as a foreign language and a bachelor's degree in education. He's here with us today, and he also holds a diploma in competencias directivas from the Business School of Universidad de Piura and a diploma in critical thinking by the University of Oregon. He has been a teacher of English for more than 30 years, right? And he has
Yes.
worked for Britannico, Richmond, and Camlet as a teacher and a teacher trainer. I think that's really good. And he has delivered academic lectures in different places in Peru, Bolivia, Mexico, and USA. And China. Oh, and he's currently working for Universidad de Piura, and he's in charge of the Teacher Development Center of the university's language school, the center manager for Cambridge exams, and the academic coordinator of the Master in Teaching English. Oh my God, Teaching English Foreign Language program offered by the Universidad de Piura and Family. So here is with us today, and Julio, we're glad to have you here, and we want to know what you are going to talk about.
All right. Thank you, Harumi. Welcome, my dear colleagues and friends. My name is Julio Valladares, and I'm going to talk to you about teacher wellness, teacher well-being, yes, and its impact on online education. So this is just an idea to get us to reflect on what we're doing. Yes, it's like, okay, teacher well-being, teacher wellness. Um, like today is Sunday, and yet here we are. Yes, and you were here because we want to be here. We like being here. Nobody forces us to do, no, because we feel good about it. Yes, in my case, I feel good about taking this challenge. So, what are we going to deal with in this case? Yes, for example, now have you finished your lunch? Let's see, Liliana or
Yes, I have.
Santi. Yes, Elia. What about if you think of now? Yes, we have to think. No, we are Santi's from Chiclayo, Elias from Chepen, I'm from Piura. No, Rebecca is from Chile. Yes, um, from Viña. Yes, and we have different places we can think about what is Viña like. No, what is Chiclayo like? What is Chepen like? Yes, we start thinking about maybe we can think about going to those places and say, well, I would like to meet Santi, I would like to meet Elia, I would like to meet Rebecca. And I say, why not? Why not? No, I can learn from them. Yes, I can have fun. Yes, so I can feel well about what I'm doing. Yes, and has to do with teacher wellness. Now, um, here we are. Okay, so we have been in this situation, this COVID-19 situation, for more than a year and a half. Yes? So my first thought that comes here is what a year. So, yes, what a year for all of us, for teachers, for students, for parents, for the country. Yes, it's been quite a year. Yes, so we've been through these changes, but big changes, no? From this face-to-face class that I miss it. I don't know about you, but I miss those times. Yes, to these empty classes due to COVID-19. Yes, and now we have this. This is our new classroom. Yes, I would say e-classroom. Yes, so this is a big change that we've been through. So March 2020, everywhere, no, it was the date of a turning point for the world of education. Yeah, for the world too, but for the world of education was a big switch in our minds, in our lives. Yes, schools and universities were suspended. because of this COVID-19. Yes. And online learning and teaching became the norm, the new norm. Yes. So just by thinking about this big change, yes, we say, wow, how do I feel about this change? How did I feel at the beginning? So next week, Julio, you have to start teaching online. But I say, but imagine I'm a baby boomer. No, I've been struggling a lot. So when Harumi was introducing myself to you, I would say, well, yes, the master and the expert in this and the expert in that. But I said, no, I don't know much about the use of Playlet, then working with different e-tools, e-resources. I get nervous. And that's something that stresses me. Because I think, wow, all those 30 years that I've been teaching, now I have to go back to learning point, but from scratch. You know? So think about this big change here. Look at this picture there. You know? Maybe it represents us when we're at home. Yes. So because of this turning point, teachers, we have to become jugglers. Yes, we knew that before we were also kind of jugglers here, but now we're becoming more skillful at this. Yes, because we're at home. Our children are next to us. A husband or wife also next to us. They are working also together. If you have a little child, how do you manage? How do we manage? Yes. If we have only one computer and one mobile phone, how can we share? Yes. How can we share that? So, turning point. Skillful struggles, work, family life, teaching online. What else? What else can we have there? Yes. What is the consequence of that? Stress, tension, despair. What to do? Those points there is like, what else? You may have your own reasons there. No? Because, yeah, when we were teaching face to face, did we have trouble with family life? Yes. Work? Yes. But teaching online? So we got more stress. Did we have stress before? Yeah, we did. Were we tense sometimes? Yes. Did we feel despair? Yeah. But if you add the burden of teaching online just from one day to the other, that makes it more and more difficult to deal with, to handle. Yes. Are we creative teachers? Yes, we are. Teachers are creative by nature. So we can handle. We can be jugglers here. But that takes a price. That takes a price, and a big price in our lives. So what to do? Yes. Yes, we are resourceful. We are good at problem solving. We're practical. Yes. So yes, we can handle the change. Definitely. And we have been doing it. Yes. But again, what is the price that we teachers have to pay for this? Yes. What about our emotional side? What about our social side? If we're teachers, we like socializing by nature with our students, interacting with our students. Now, how difficult this is when we're interacting with screen. Like now, for example, I don't know what you may be thinking, because I cannot see your faces. I cannot see your reactions. When you're in a face-to-face class, I can see your reaction. So I can see, I'm on the right track or I'm not. And then comes our resourcefulness. Yes. And that, when we're teaching online, it happens almost all the time, continuously. No? So are we teachers working on our self-compassion. Yes. Which means noticing how you're going through or what you're going through, how overwhelmed you are. Because we know we start teaching and yes, our classes, we feel good, we are motivated, but sometimes the online teaching takes a toll. Preparation time takes longer. Keeping up with the students' requests or questions takes longer. Not because we are disorganized, it's because we also have the family time here, family life. We have other tasks to do at home. We have our little kids walking around us, needing us. So how am I going through this? Yes. So how this change has affected you, me, and our objectives? Yes. How has it affected the values of nurturing, of education? Yes, we care for our students, but how do we care for our students now through a screen? How do we care through our students if I cannot see their faces because they are with the cameras off, because the interconnection is not that good, because my connection is not that good, it's unstable, or the famous ghost students. Yes. So that is something that we're missing with the online. Yes, we have lots of things. We have lots of e-tools. It's great. But that human contact, that socializing part, how are we dealing with that? Some food for thought. Let's remember, education is a two-way process. So teaching and learning should go hand in hand. So we just don't think about our teaching. Yes, my lesson plan is great. Yes, my teaching is great. But what about my students' learning? Is it taking place? Is learning taking place? How do I know? Oh, because they always click the correct answer. Click the correct answer. But how do you really know they are learning? What does that mean when I say education is a two-way process? So, very simple statement. A teacher needs his students, and the students need their teacher, not the Kahoot. The Kahoot is a way to connect, probably. Playlet is a way to connect. Yes. Working on Canvas or Blackboard is a way to connect. But I need my students, and my students need me to make that idea of education happen. Yes. And that takes a lot of effort on the teacher's side. Yes. If we are well prepared, knowledgeable, if we have good rapport, and if we feel well, yes, our students are going to be well taught, will become knowledgeable, and they will feel well. They will feel heard. They will feel noticed and ready to continue learning. So the importance of a teacher, not just being knowledgeable or having good rapport or being well prepared, but the idea of feeling well is of some importance. This applies to both face-to-face and online. How often have we entered our face-to-face classes after having a rough day at home, or maybe we have had a row with our family? Okay, but then we enter the classroom and it's different. Does it happen? I mean, is it the same when we enter in an online class? Is it the same? It's something that we have to think about. Yes, because when you enter in a face-to-face, you feel that energy that your students give you. But through the screen, how do I manage that? How do I manage to concentrate that energy from my students, which also makes me feel well, which makes me feel like, okay, here I am. This is me. I'm here for my students, and my students are here for me. It's not the teacher for the students, it's also the students for the teacher. Yes. Now, here we are. No, this is our new now. They call it, no? Our new now. Yes, we start teaching. Yes, yeah, we have fun. Yes, but also we get tired. Yes, and then back again, back on track again. No? So that's the cycle we should follow. But how do we do that? Taking care of ourselves. If we take care of ourselves first, then the benefit will be greater for our students. And in return, it will be greater to us too. So it's like a virtuous circle. Not a vicious, a virtuous circle. So that's what we have to do. Yes. So what do we teachers understand by wellness and its impact on the education process? Yes. If we have a look at this description, wellness is not only related to teachers' physical and mental health, but also to the stability in schools and to teaching effectiveness and student achievement. So, teachers' emotions and stress levels have been found to influence those of the students and other teachers. No? So, look at the importance of having your emotions properly cared for. No? It has been proven, no? Teaching effectiveness, student achievement, yes? And the influence. They are influenced by our emotions. Yes. So, yeah, we can be better prepared. We can be, well prepared. We can be knowledgeable again. But if we don't have this emotional balance in our lives, that would be more difficult to transmit what we want to transmit, the way we would like to transmit it. So what are we going to do? Think about ourselves. It may sound selfish, no, but I'm going to think about my students first. Yes, but there is like when you're on a plane, no? If there is it's going to be like when the oxygen masks fall down, the first person is the adult that puts on the mask, and then the children. Because if the adult loses consciousness, the children too. The same happens when we're teaching. We should be taking care of ourselves first and then the kids, because we are going to be okay, we're going to be right, we're going to be ready to help our learners. Yes. So what does that tell us? Let's see. What is teacher well-being? It's a positive emotional state, and it's a positive emotional state that combines the personal needs and expectations of both learners and their teachers. Teacher well-being and job satisfaction strongly influence teacher behavior and are positively related to school and classroom climate and pupil achievement. Again, classroom climate, pupil achievement. So it's a need. It's a need. It's positive. It's positive. And it goes for both learners and teachers and learners. Does it make you think, this picture? It says teacher at the beginning of the school year, teacher at the end of the school year. How often have you felt like that? How often? How often have we felt like this? That's interesting. When we start at the beginning of the school year with lots of expectations, lots of energy, but at the end, But now in online, this, like that length of time from which we start so cool and we finish not so cool, yes, it's shorter. So we have to learn to reinvent. We have to learn to redesign our emotional state. Yes. We have to give more time to ourselves more often when we're teaching online. Face to face, sometimes you had a bad day, a bad class. Your students were so naughty in your classes, misbehaving. No, usually we say this is one of those days. But when you went out of the classroom, you could go and have a cup of coffee with your peers, with your colleagues, talk about them. What about now? It remains and it stays here with us in our studio, in our living room, in our bedroom, wherever you have your laptop or your desktop. So things, if you think, hey, now, how can I feel well if I am overwhelmed by lots of things? Class preparation, my contact with my students, my interconnection, you know, my e-tools that I don't know how to handle them well, the changes that I have to adapt to, the adaptations that I have to also to make. Yes. How do I know? My family is around here. The noise outside. Little details that maybe we don't pay much attention to, but they start affecting this state of mind, this state of emotional state. Yes. So what to do? Again, this is going to be my question. What to do? Yes. Okay. Yes. What to do? Yeah, we think about methodology, pedagogy, instructional approaches. Okay. But that's not only it. It's also about teacher well-being. And this term, teacher well-being, has been, it's not new. It's not new. It comes from many, many years ago. But now they are paying more attention to it. And even more after or during this COVID-19 change, turning point in education. Why? Because now teachers, like in big chunks, in big numbers, are being affected by this change. Young, old, experienced. So teacher well-being is as important as being knowledgeable, as being great at methodology or pedagogy or instructional approaches. It doesn't matter if you have C1 level in your command of language, or if you are a native speaker, teacher of English. If you are not okay in your emotional balance, then you're not going to be so well with your students. So learning will be affected, teaching will be affected, or your teaching won't be that effective. That's something else. No, because maybe you're okay. Yeah, okay, I can manage this class, but what am I going to do? Yes. Now, why? Why is teacher well-being also important? Because if we don't care about our well-being and our emotions, then we are not fit, in no fit shape to help our students learn. As easy as that. I mean, that's why this talk is to make you think, reflect. Now ask yourselves now, what am I doing in order to see if I'm okay, if I feel well, if my emotions are okay? What do you do? How do you feel when you're teaching, you have prepared your great lesson now online, and then your connection is unstable? What do you do? How do you feel? How often does that happen to you? How do you feel when you're explaining and say, okay, Santi, what is the answer? And the ghost student syndrome, no? Blank, no video on, your camera on, and silence. And I say, Santi, what is no? Rebecca, what about you? Help Santi. Rebecca, so those the ghost student syndrome. And I say, gosh, what am I going to do? So you start feeling anxious. You start feeling, you question yourself as a teacher. So what to do there? We have to be prepared for that. I know we are prepared, but every time we face those kind of problems, then we get stressed. So what do I do? What do you do in order to de-stress you? How often have you really, I don't know, sometimes I know it depends on the rapport that you have with your teachers or with your students. Yes. Sometimes I get my students, okay, now 10 minutes before the class or in the middle of the class of a very difficult point, we say, okay, now let's stand up and we start dancing. I play a song and we start dancing together. No, that's why I said maybe don't wear your pajamas next class because we may be dancing. So they get, yeah, because sometimes, I mean, if I ask you now, how many of you are in pajamas? 2, 3? Huh? Oh, shorts. Yeah. If you see me here, my jacket, my shirt, but please don't ask me to stand up. Huh? No, I have my trousers. Don't worry. But I don't have I have jeans. I have jeans. Yes, which would be not appropriate if I were in front of you face to face. Why am I sharing this? I'm not ashamed of sharing this because that's what that to me is a way of saying this is me. This is Julio. I'm not trying to pose as a great visionary of English. No, this is me. This is how I teach. You know? So when you establish this kind of rapport with your students, they will respond to you in the same way. Openness, honesty. And little by little, you can be gaining them to your side. So little by little, you will be, how many of you would like to turn on the cameras? And more students will start turning on their cameras. Step by step. And by doing that, my stress level starts reducing. And I will feel more and more eager to teach this group. I'm not being forced. I don't feel forced to continue teaching. I feel eager. Yes. There's a big difference there. No? So, do you think teacher well-being is important in the teaching learning process? Well, definitely research shows a positive relationship between teachers' motivation and learning performance and well-being. It's so important, eh? So important. We have to think about ourselves. Something else. When we talk about teacher well-being, it's not just that you are super stressed, you are the famous burned out. No. Teacher well-being goes beyond those factors. It also has to do with becoming better professionals, better persons. Like now, no, it's okay now. In my case, I when I was invited to participate here, I said, okay, I'm going to work on this, something new, teacher well-being. I had to read, I had to revise, I had to study. I'm here. Yes. Do I feel nervous? Yes. Do I feel stressed? A bit. But more, I feel kind of satisfied because I'm sharing something that I've been working on. And then I will have my self-reflection. And I say, well, next time I'm going to change this. Next time I'm not going to do that. But I feel, in the end, I feel well. Yes. And that's the kind of feeling that we should foster in ourselves. I know that there are more people that can be teaching better than I do, that can be giving a better webinar than I do, but at least I feel well with myself. I'm not going to compare myself to others, because I feel well because I've tried. In my case, by trying, that's a big step for me. Maybe you have a different objective, a different attitude. Find it within yourselves. And then you see that you're going to feel well. Yeah, teacher well-being is like, yeah, imagine, and the mindfulness, the famous mindfulness. Yes, I'm not going to talk about mindfulness now, because that to me is like a big chunk of a big important thing too for teachers, not only for teachers, for everybody. But just, I say, no, I'm going to focus on practical side of teacher well-being. Teacher well-being allows for collaborative work, reflection, and teacher development and professionalization. Now that you're teaching online, how often do you get together with your peers to talk, to vent out your problems in the class, not in your family? That's something different. No, don't get, no, I have a problem with my husband or my wife. I hate him. I hate her. No. It's like, I cannot connect with my students. My students, why? What can I do? So it's well known that the teacher is one of the most stressful jobs. Teaching, yes, teaching is one of the most stressful jobs. No, before the pandemic. Imagine now. Yes. So how do we teachers feel? What to do in order to avoid getting burnt out or demotivated or fed up? What does all this pressure, how does all this pressure affect us, teachers? And then the question is, how does that affect our learners? Because we get overwhelmed with all the stuff we have to do, that we forget our learners. We forget about our learners. And if we are teaching at schools, we not only have to deal with our students, technology, classes, lesson planning, we have to deal with our authorities in the school. We have to deal with parents that they don't understand. Now they're getting to understand what teaching and learning online implies. Before, but why are you teaching? Before you had a class of 1 hour and now you have a class of half an hour. But he said, that's impossible to keep the attention span of your little kid for 1 hour. No, because we're paying for this, and we had to deal with that. Now they are getting to understand us, because they're also working online. Yes. So promoting teacher wellness or well-being requires attention to physical and mental health, professional development and support, and resources needed to be effective in the classroom, among other things. So teacher well-being is not just about feeling well and saying, okay, and start concentrating, doing yoga. No. Apart from the you have to study a little bit more. You have to get better. You have to talk to your peers. Now that we are teaching online, why don't we take advantage and we do peer observation? And I say, okay, Harumi, I'm going to observe your class and you're going to observe mine. Great, okay. And then we share ideas. Not with the idea of being like judgmental. No, you did this right, wrong. No, share. I like your class because of this. What about this? How do you do with your students who don't respond to your instructions? Because I do this. Okay, great. We start, and I feel well because I am not alone. I don't feel lonely, and I'm not alone. If I don't feel lonely within my teaching learning context, if I know that I'm not alone there, then I can find help. And when I find help, and I can help my learners in a better way. Yes. Teaching online and teacher well-being, I put this picture, adaptability. Have you had to adapt your teaching? That's kind of obvious answer. No? You say, yeah, Julio, yes, definitely, yes. Fact one, COVID-19 has brought a new, changing, and uncertain situation for all. It's still uncertain. We're getting used to it, yeah. But what is going to happen afterwards? Yeah, we know that technology has come to stay. Great. But the change was so sudden that it hasn't given us time to prepare. And that's one of the problems here. No? Now you were preparing. How many of us, I mean, at least in Peru, we were teaching at the schools, had our program prepared, no, the syllabus and everything. And then change. But I have never used this. Sorry. But I don't know this. Tough on you. But no buts. Just do it. And now, do you know you're going back to schools? Maybe, yes. Are we going back full time? Or is going to be a hybrid program? And if it's going to be a hybrid program, how are we going to do it? How are we going to work? I used to work for 8 hours. Okay, now 4 hours at school, 4 hours at home. How can you structure your time? Who structures your time? Different aspects. Yes. Where am I? Sorry. Speaking of getting, I don't know, where am I? Oh, gosh. I lost my presentation. Oh, here it is. But I still cannot do it.
If you need help,
Can you see?
I can see the slide with the fact one.
Can you help me with that?
Yes, if you want, I can share the slides.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll look for it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, my dear friends. This is what happens, no? But still, I know that I have Harumi, and she's going to help me.
Yep.
Let's see.
Looking for it. Okay. Sorry for a moment.
That's it, no? So, am I feeling desperate? Yes. Now, this is a clear example. Yes, but I also know that Harumi is helping me, that you are being patient. Cross my fingers that you're being patient. And that I'm trying to count on your understanding, because this happens. I think I can manage that. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, we have to.
I think
yeah. Very sorry.
All right. So, fact two, teachers, we have had to respond to, that's what we're talking, to a sudden change in the process of education, from face-to-face to online teaching learning environment, as well as to changing needs of students throughout a lesson. We have to adapt to manage unexpected situations related to the teaching learning environment itself, student behavior, and our own behavior too. Yes. Fact three, this new teaching learning mode has put the adaptability factor under the spotlight. Now, how have we adapted as teachers, as learners too? We, learners. Yes. And it says here, adaptability refers to the extent to which individuals are able to adjust their thoughts, actions, and emotions in order to effectively navigate new, changing, or uncertain situations. So if we work on our adaptability, we know that we're going to do well. We're going to do well. Yes. So what does that involve? Adjusting thinking and attitudes about how students learn online and how technology can be harnessed in teaching like never before. Adjusting thinking and attitudes about how teachers teach online. How do you teach online? How do you get in touch with your students? How do you connect? How do you create rapport? How do you do it? How do you do it if your students do not have their cameras on? How have you managed to do so? Yes. Adjusting behaviors by seeking out people to support any technical needs for remote teaching. How can you get help from people who know better than you do regarding the technology? Adjusting your emotions. Yes. But working on anxiety or frustration. Like now, I've learned not to show my kind of anxiety and frustration when these kind of things happen, when the connection is unstable. Sometimes I'm so engaged in the class and then beep, your connection is unstable. So my students and I have to start again. So I have to adapt to those changes. So definitely more pressure, more anxiety, more worries, less well-being. Teaching online, teacher well-being, the future. What do we look forward to? Would you like to continue teaching online? Class, how many of you would like to continue teaching online? Any ideas? Do you think would you like to continue teaching online? We don't have to spend much money on clothes, no, on makeup, huh? Yes, maybe some hours, says Liliana. Yes, Santi, I think everybody is on some hours, no? That would be interesting, no? Elia says I have mixed feelings about that. Yeah. If you ask me, I think I would do also like hybrid, no? Oh, face to face, and then also online. The ideal, it depends on every person. Yes. Sandra mentions blended. Blended would be perfect. That would be the idea for Sandra, no? I think for me too. Yes. What challenges teaching online and teaching well-being brings? More work, probably. More stress, definitely. Yes. What about the education nowadays? No? It says there's more to do, more to worry about. Yeah. Sometimes we thought, oh, online, that's nice. No, yes, I'm home. I get up at 6 a.m., have my breakfast, and then at 7 I'm sitting in front of the computer. Yes. How many of you teach at 7 a.m.? When your students are just out of bed, literally out of bed in front of their computer, sleepy. They haven't even washed their faces. No, there are some schools, for example, that students have to be with their uniform, which I think that's a nice idea because at least they are well awake by the time they are sitting in front of the screen. Establishing rapport online. How have you managed to establish rapport online? It's difficult to establish rapport. Now, how can you do it online? Reliable teaching online and well-being, reliable, fast internet access from on the teacher side, on the student side. Now, maybe some of you are lucky enough to have, to teach in a school, in a language institute where your students have good interconnectivity, they have good computers, no problem. But some of us, we teach students who are not that lucky. The students who have to use their mobile phones and they have to walk to a place where they have good interconnectivity. What about our teachers' role? Are they the same? Have you thought about that? When you're teaching online, what about our own families? Our own problems, our own spaces, everything in your workplace. Before we went out, we went to our schools, to our language institutes, and kind of forget what was going on in our homes. Now we have to learn to live with everything at the same time. Remember the juggler idea? That's it. What about, and again, what if you have little kids who are also being taught online and they need your help, and you are the mom or the dad who has to help them, and it coincides with your lessons? What happens if you're married or you have a partner and you have had a row, you have had a strong discussion there, and you don't want to see his or her face, but is there working next to you, and you are, how can you manage that? Before you say, okay, don't want to talk to you, bye, ping, went out, and then you came back more relaxed, and then you start talking. But then at the same time, so we have our own problems. Yes. How can we deal with them? Everything in the same place. That's the problem, the big problem. That's the stress. Before we can put it in different compartments and then we can work at different times. Now everything is in the same compartment, and we say, wait, what can I do here? Yes. Where to hide our emotions? I wouldn't say hide them. I wouldn't say leave them for the proper time to let them out. Good emotions, bad emotions. How do you handle your negative emotions? How do you handle yourselves when you are angry and it's your class? How do you manage your emotions when there is this problem of interconnectivity? So if teachers only focus on preparing and facilitating classes, our well-being will suffer. If we're just every single day preparing lessons, giving our lessons, checking exams, correcting homework, talking to students, talking to parents, next day, classes, preparation, revision, talking to parents, maybe you can be thinking, but Julio, what can we do? This is our job. Yes, this is our job, but we have to have a stop sign. Because remember, we don't have the luxury now in these times to go out and have a cup of coffee, or go out or get out of the class and talk to my partners and say, I have had a terrible day. We cannot do that nowadays. But we should look for solutions to that. No? So what to do?
Sorry
First,
that I
let's celebrate. You. Yes.
Sorry, we have 10 minutes, so I want to tell you so you can manage your time.
Okay, yes. So what to do? Let's celebrate the amazing things we see on the screen. That's it. Let's celebrate it. Here we are. We're alive. The first thing is that we have to be grateful. We are alive. We have our family next to us. We are here. We're working on our professional development. Let's celebrate it. Why not? Yes. Let's encourage the effort our students make in order to accomplish the task given. If they haven't accomplished it the way we would have wanted, don't worry. Great effort. That's the main point. Remember that teachers cannot be, and we don't want to be, everything to every single person. That's also important. Yes. Accept it. Yeah, we have to accept it. And say, oh, I know COVID. I know teaching online. I don't like it. I prefer face-to-face. That's it. This is it. Accepted it. Yes. But find solutions. Be proactive. That's the point. Let's be proactive. Yes. Remember, we're not alone. So we shouldn't feel lonely. It's important. Teachers, we're still there for our students. So let them know that we understand what they are going through. Share your pains, share your emotions with your students. So you create a horizontal kind of relationship with your students, and they will understand you better too. Yes. Teachers can check on their students. Not everything is about the lesson or the e-text. No, make sure about their well-being. Don't start your class by saying, okay, books, page 32, the same as in a face-to-face. No, you say, hey, Liliana, how are you doing? Are you all right today? Yes. If not, then talk to me later. But something like that. Yes. Let's accept the new challenges with positive attitude. Let's work on ourselves. That's the last, to me, most important point is let's work on ourselves. It's not being selfish, it's taking care of ourselves first, and then we can also take care of our learners afterwards. And teaching well-being is not just about talking about burned out or stress. It's talking about making ourselves better professionals, better persons, right? So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, if you would like to share some ideas, like Liliana, for example, says we have to be more supportive. Yes, definitely. Yes. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Santi. Thank you. Lucia, yeah, right. It's very important to take care of our students' emotions. Yes. And we forget sometimes. Yes. Or we don't have the word emotions or well-being in our minds. We just focus on what we have to do every day. Yes. Thank you, Ella, to you. Anna says we have to be more conscious of our well-being and take action when something is not right. Definitely, yes. If we don't take care of our well-being, everything can go wrong. And we don't want that. We don't want that. Yes.